Says we're live.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. We always try to start a little bit early, and it looks like we were successful in doing that today.
Huzzah. I'm Lizzie, and this is Sean.
Hi.
We are with Pashta Design, and we're going to show you some stitching dies, or do some stitching with you today.
Yeah, today we're going to show you how to make this birthday crown that I don't have enough hair to model for. So if you haven't taken a look, I can lean in if you want. I'm trying to watch myself. Look at that. So I've just reached my 5th birthday, and here we are. Oh, Cheddar is underfoot as well.
Hello,
Cheddar wishes he could. Cheddar the cat. Oh boy, Cheddar.
Here he is.
So noisy. Okay. Go ahead. Tell them what we're going to do today. You've got those dies laid out so well.
I have the dies laid out. So this is the birthday crown die.
Mm-hmm.
These are all of the pieces.
Great.
We have the main die, or the main crown components. There's 2 different sizes of panel that you can choose between when you're making your crowns.
Yeah, first there's the large panel, which is what the number 5 is connected to there, everybody.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a smaller side panel, or it could be the front panel too if you want it to be. You really can choose the layout of your crown. Then we've got these 2 circles here.
Oh.
That creates that circle medallion there in the center. There's stars.
Oh.
And then there's also this candle detail. Sorry, I've got a cat hair on my face.
Oh, come on, Cheddar. Get out of the shot.
So we've got the candle detail here and the candle bits. So that is what the die itself looks like.
Shari says these are totally my colors, and you're not fooling anybody, Shari. Nice try. Definitely not my colors. Hi, everybody that's here. Hello from New York and Louisiana and Florence. Y'all.
All right.
Oh, great.
Hello.
Hello.
So today, I'm going to make a very similar crown to this one that I did for the introductory release. We're going to do the panels on the sides, and in the center, instead of the 5, we're going to have a star.
Oh.
So that's what we're going to show today.
And what's the color story today?
Today we are using Flower Farm.
Flower Farm, everybody.
Yes.
There it is. I love a plastic bag. I love to crinkle. I love to crinkle a plastic bag. Hopefully you're not listening to this on your earbuds.
Yeah, crinkle, crinkle.
Crinkle, crinkle.
I've done some of the side panels ahead just because of time.
Okay.
So here we have, this is what they're going to end up looking like.
And we're feeling fit as a fiddle this week.
Yes.
Last week,
not so much.
not so much.
I thought to myself, I don't know why I don't feel so great. I don't know, I'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
And then I wasn't fine.
Yeah, the moment we pushed stop last week, Lizzie shows me her arm, and there were just goosebumps all over her entire... Oh, hey!
Hi, Louis.
Louis is in the shot. Hey, buddy. What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, so by the time we finished last week, not only did I have goosebumps, but like, hey, bud, let's not take any of Mama's pieces, please. Like, within 5 minutes, I was shaking to the point that it looked like I was making a joke.
It was a great live. So we're fit as a fiddle this week. We're ready to go.
Yeah, within 5 minutes of the end of the live, I think my fever was at 102. So yeah. This week, much better.
Here we go, everybody. We're ready to stitch.
Hello, Lou.
Okay, Louis, get out of here.
We're just gonna...
His tail's waving around. Okay,
yes,
let me switch the camera shot. Let's just get started. That's enough of an intro for this week.
Okay.
We've talked about Louis and the flu.
Hi,
so there we go. Oh, look. Oh, hi, everybody. There's Louis again.
There's Louis.
Oh, boy. You can't get him out of here. Okay, great. I've selected the right shot.
Fantastic.
I'm putting you. Here we go.
So for this crown, we've got each... Oh, hi, buddy. Hi, buddy.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to escort him out of the room.
Each panel has 2 pieces. So we've got a front of the panel and a back of the panel, because you want to make sure that it's nice and clean on the back. So if you've got like a tiny person, they don't have like knots right against their head. Hi, bud. Hey, can you go lay down, please? Thank you.
Good evening from the UK. That's what I'm talking about. And hello in Arizona. Here we go.
So one thing I wanted to talk about real quick is a lot of our dies, we have this inside, outside. Can I have this, buddy? No? Okay, cool. We I'm gonna lose things.
The chaos happening off camera. Oh, I guess it's not off camera.
Not off
There's his tail right
really.
there. Oh, he's trying to eat that cord. Okay, I'm gonna get Louis out of here. One moment, everybody.
No, thank you, sir.
Okay.
No, thank you, sir.
Okay, just a second. Keep going. You keep talking.
Okay. So on a lot of our dies, the shapes that might layer, we have like this inside cut line, and then we also have this layering piece, right? So, sorry, let me get the cat hairs out of here as well as possible. So that is because we want you to have options. So you can layer the shape over top of the holes, or you can layer the shape behind the holes, and you get two different looks. Like you get two different styles with one die, or with two dies, I guess. But that way, like if on the side panels you wanted the smaller stars, you could just cut the shape with the hole or with the aperture on the inside and then layer behind. But then on the front, if you wanted, on like the main panel in the front, you wanted a bigger star, you could get a bigger star using the same dies.
Okay. So, I think I got all that. We'll go over that again as we stitch along.
Yes.
I can't comprehend that and get the cat out at the same
I
time.
understand. So two different styles is what I'm saying. The same goes for the circle. So if you wanted a bigger medallion there in the front, you could stitch it over on the top.
Okay.
If you wanted a slightly smaller medallion with more space around the edges, you could stitch it behind.
Wow, the options are there. I wouldn't say they're. I wouldn't say they're endless. I could do the math to figure out what the number is.
I'm sure there is some actual number.
How many types of Whopper combinations are there? Right, Burger King used to give you that number.
Sure.
A lot.
A lot.
It's like 1,000.
All right.
Okay.
So let's start by doing this front panel.
Here we go. Hi, Mary, and hi, Lisa. They're here today, too. We got Lisa. Lisa's here. Lisa Navajoski is here from upstate. From upstate is going to be here. And Mary says she's hi from San Diego. Wow. Someday I'll understand the geography of California.
Still
but
don't.
Today is not really the day. Yeah, because when Mary gets packages, it doesn't say San Diego, so I don't know what any of that means. I think she might have somebody who lives in San Diego.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm using 3 strands of floss.
3 strands of floss.
3 strands.
And what color do we have here?
This is 726 for daffodil.
Let me crinkle some plastic.
Fabulous.
Oh, this is daffodil? It looked green on the screen.
No, it's daffodil.
Oh, okay, it's daffodil. Okay, daffodil is not a green color. Daffodil is this lovely yellow color right here. That the sun is hitting just right through the window. And it looks a little bit brighter on my screen than it is in my hand. But there you have it, daffodil right there. And what are we doing? We're going to stitch the star onto the circle?
Star onto the circle.
Okay, star onto the circle. Amazing. We're going to square. We're not going to square the circle. We're going to star the circle. Okay.
And we're just going to use a running stitch.
Just using a running stitch today?
Yes.
Okay.
Just using a running stitch.
So you're getting that thing all ready to go?
Yes. I'm just lining up the star with the holes.
Okay.
And
you're going on top of the circle?
Yes, I'm going on top of the circle.
This is the centerpiece? This is what we're putting right in the center of the crown. Okay, so the one that I had, it had the number 5 from the monogram numerals set.
Yes.
So it's the same circle here in this example. I'm going to learn how to do this.
Yes, it is the same circle.
Same circle, but you'd have to have the monogram numeral to make that little number 5.
Yes.
In case you know someone like me who just turned 5.
Or is turning 5 soon.
Yeah, or some combination, some variation thereof. Okay, so instead of doing a number, you're doing a star today.
Correct.
So that way the crown could be ambiguous.
Well, just that way if, after the birthday, this particular child, because this is going to a particular child.
This is going to a particular child. Okay, great.
It is. In case they want to wear it to, play dress up and stuff.
Okay.
It's not, quite so birthday test. I mean, yes, it has candles on the side.
I just thought that maybe what you were stitching was like the house birthday crown. Like this is when you go to a restaurant, a certain type of restaurant, and they have a certain type of birthday sombrero, let's say, that everyone gets to wear. I thought that perhaps what we were stitching today was like I would put this on top of the refrigerator, and this would just be like the family's
it could be
birthday crown, or maybe you could stitch one for your family.
But again, I have a particular child in mind for this because we have a birthday party to go to this weekend.
Oh my gosh, is that this weekend?
It is.
Now I get to say on the Instagram live or the YouTube live, is that on the calendar?
It is.
Oh, it is.
Isn't it?
I have no idea.
I think it is.
You're in charge of that one, I think.
We just talked about it.
We just talked about this. Is it possible to change the number yearly? Is it semi-permanent? So that is a pretty good question.
You know, I bet if you wanted to, you could put, you could just leave the front blank.
You can leave the front blank.
And then you could like maybe sew on a piece of hook and loop.
Hook and loop, we are not going to say VELCRO.
Right,
We might
but you
spell
could
it
do
in the
hook
chat.
and loop. And then you could create a medallion that also had hook and loop on the back.
So you could
do a new medallion
So you
year.
could hook and loop your medallion every single year.
Right.
And then you could bop it off. And you know what? When they turn 6, just hold on to that 6 for a couple of years and flip it over.
There you
and you'll
go.
be able to use it when they turn 9.
Precisely.
There you go. Reduce, reuse. I pledge my head to clearer thinking. Yeah, so you could do that. But no, once you've stitched, if you fully stitch it on without doing something like hook and loop,
Right.
then you're not going to be able to go in there with the seam ripper
I mean,
and like take it off and put it back on, I don't think.
it would be very challenging.
You could attach a medallion with snap fasteners, couldn't you? I tell
could.
you what, whether you're on this side of the pond to Victoria or the other side of the pond, yes, you could absolutely do that. So that's some cleverness all the way from the UK tonight.
Yeah, because I use the snap-on or the sew-on snaps, snap fasteners for the Love Notes envelope. So they come in like a pack of 16 or something, so you get a whole bunch of them at once. Or you could use magnets.
Okay.
That would be an option as well.
At that point in time, heavy is the head that wears the crown, as they say. That's
Not
why
if
the
they're
crown.
really thin.
That's
like,
why the crown's so heavy, or the head's so heavy.
Not if you use those really thin, like I can never say the word neodymium.
Neodymium.
Yeah.
Should I be looking that up? How do you even spell that? Neodymium. There's an M in there. Oh, I thought it was an N.
No.
Okay.
So you could use those.
You could if you really wanted to.
Because they get like really wafer thin. They're like 1 or 2 millimeters thick or whatever.
Neodymium.
Mm-hmm.
It's not neodymium, it seems.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the American pronunciation. If you go to the British, it seems to be the same. I don't understand why there's a difference between the two, but okay, thanks for nothing, Google. Anyways.
You could use those alternatively.
We often refer to snap fasteners as poppers in the UK. Poppers. You can call them poppers, huh?
I think that's something different in the US, but I don't personally know.
Wait, poppers? I thought poppers are just those things you throw on the ground on the 4th of July. They're just like...
Never mind.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Let's move on.
Yeah. So, all we're going to do here is just go all the way around with our running stitch.
And then you're going to go back around the other way? Or
I've already done that.
You've already done that, okay. I didn't know if since it was a start, you could just, instead of going back the other way, you could just keep essentially going in the same direction, but do the other set of holes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Since it's a circle, you don't have to get to the end and then turn around and go backwards. You
it just depends on
keep charging through.
Just go turn whichever way and fill in your holes.
And you're repeating to yourself to the left the whole time you're doing this.
All the time.
I love it.
Yep.
Which is that's very topical because Beyonce just won
Best Country Album.
I think she won. I think she won Album of the Year. I think Kendrick was Record of the Year and she was Album of the Year.
Wait,
and I don't believe she's
difference?
I don't believe she's. Oh, Record of the Year I think is song and Album is album.
Why don't they say Song of the Year?
Well, I don't know why we are. Well, because back in the day, songs were records and records were songs. I don't know.
Boy, you're okay. All right, so now we're going to attach this to the front of the crown. And I feel like I had,
And this is still that main panel piece.
Yes.
Now, why did you cut the circle out of the main panel piece?
Because the circle gets you the holes.
Okay, got it. So when you cut that, you can't get the holes in there without also taking out that middle chunk of felt.
No.
And you could free stitch it, hand stitch it on there, but why would you do that when we make the holes so convenient for you?
Right?
Okay, that's spectacular. Thanks.
Okay. I'm going to use 3813.
3813, which is going to be our color for Glacier.
Yes.
Okay, hang on. Rattle, 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 rattle. This is great. Who needs a set of maracas when you can have a cellophane bag? So we're about to use some Glacier thread. Why are we stitching that on with Glacier? Just to give it a fun color?
Yes.
Okay, because I see
give her a pop of color.
There are going to be some Glacier candles I can see there at the very top of the screen.
There are.
Some birthday candles in Glacier. Okay.
Yes.
This is such a fun color story for a birthday.
I thought so. And it's also, I happen to know the birthday girl really likes purple. So.
We happen to know that the birthday girl really enjoys purple.
Yes.
In fact. So we thought, okay, this one, and the purple that's in this one, which purple is this that I have here?
Lavender.
That's lavender. Okay, so lavender is there.
Yes.
I've got them all bundled up. I just love a prop. I love a prop. Oh, what I don't know is how to move them around. There we go. It's like a flying V when I hold them that way of felt colors. Look at that.
There you go, flying V of felt colors.
Okay, so we've got the Glacier on, and we just want to do that to give it some more interest there. Mm-hmm. And
a little pop of color.
And then if I was a betting man, I would say we're coming up on beads and sequin after that.
Indeed.
Yes.
Just a couple.
It's only been just a couple of lives, and I'm really doing that. Is anybody stitching along while they're here today, or is everybody at work right now? Who's out there stitching, and what kind of projects are you working on? That's what I'd love to know about in the chat. Just let me know what you've got going on. We did just learn that Carlsbad is in North San Diego County, which is a small town. Where's the really famous Carlsbad? Isn't there the Carlsbad Caverns?
Isn't there one in the
Carlsbad Caverns, I think those are in Kentucky. Where's Florence, y'all? Somebody help me out here. I'm trying to triangulate the geography, and now I want to know who Carlsbad was. Why are there multiple bad Carls out there in the world? Like, what did he ever do? He did something so bad in Kentucky, he had to also go to California. And when he got there, he wasn't reformed. He just kept being bad.
Just kept being bad.
You can take the Carl out of the Kentucky, but you can't take the bad out of him, it turns out.
Out of the Carl.
I cannot wait for someone to get in the chat and explain this to me.
I'm sure.
And you're stitching already. Look at that.
Yes. So I just started at the bottom.
Okay.
I made sure that the point of the star was facing up where I wanted it.
Was that hard to do? Like, is it, you can kind of, you just like looking down from the point, you're looking towards the hole that's there in the circle, and you're like, okay, this is the one that's straight away.
I just eyeball things.
Oh my gosh, Carlsbad Caverns are in New Mexico. I'm not winning the geography bee today. It's Mammoth Cave that I'm thinking of down in Kentucky, which is also a famous cave, but not Carlsbad Caverns. Thanks for that information. That's great. Okay.
Oh boy.
So Carl was bad in New Mexico, and then he went to California.
There you go.
Carl was obviously just on a spree, Victoria says. I love it. See, if he had had stitching in his life, he would have learned to behave himself.
That's right.
That's right. Because
we're very well behaved crafters.
As everybody in the chat knows and watching later knows, the reason that we do the stitching is because it keeps us out of trouble. That's why.
Right.
You can't get into trouble when you're stitching. Carlsbad has Legoland.
I think I did actually make this crooked.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to fix it.
Florence is 10 miles south of Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, yeah. Carlsbad has Legoland and ranuncula fields and beaches, is what Mary has to say. Ranuncula fields. Now I want to know if those are fields of ranuncula, or it's just that's the name of the place.
I think they are probably fields.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Okay, talk about a flower farm.
You know what? I'm going to start at the top. That way I can make sure that this is straight, because I definitely started going and it had shifted. Oh,
the whole time when talking about Carlsbad, it turns out your circle was bad?
It turns out.
Okay, everybody. Even the pros have to go back sometimes.
Yep. I went back last week to fix things.
Well, but I thought that was because of the flu. I didn't think that was... I thought you were back to 100% today.
We can blame things on the flu. It doesn't mean it's always the flu.
I'd love to do that for sure.
Okay. Or maybe it's just, I'm a little bit... Do I have a star point that's straighter? Maybe here. And let's try this. Yeah.
One of the cats just let out the loudest sneeze I think I've ever heard from down the hallway.
Yeah, I don't think it was Betty. I think it was one of the boys.
One of the boys is sneezing out there. Mary Legoland, that sounds more Carl's good than Carl's bad.
All right. Starting again.
Here we go.
We're just going to go...
Could we have a color story someday called Legoland and not get in trouble with the copyright infringement people? No, we don't think so. Okay.
You could ask Professor Wyatt's son.
You're off the camera, just so you know.
Sorry.
There we go. We're moving back. Oh, look at that. Wow. That was a very dramatic return to form there.
Sorry.
I don't know how much room we have to play with around there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Looking great, stitching away. Okay, so we've got this thing realigned, and now we're stitching around in a circle.
Correct.
Correct.
Again, just using a running stitch. I like the running stitch because it's accessible. It is fairly straightforward, and
you could backstitch it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could backstitch it if you wanted to.
Could.
Mm-hmm. What other kind of stitches could you do if you wanted to? I didn't bring my handbook.
You could do like a chain stitch if you wanted to make something fancy.
I'm not sure that I understand exactly what a chain stitch is.
It looks like a whole bunch of lazy daisies all looped into one another.
Oh my gosh, so you could, it would almost be a little bit...
I have done it. I don't prefer it.
The crown would almost have a little bit of like a chainmail detail at that point in time.
It would.
If you wanted to make a particularly, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
I don't want to say belligerent.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I did not want to say belligerent, because I knew that would be the response.
I don't even know where to go with that. No, it would just be a thicker line with a little bit of like a braided element to it.
Yeah, but that braided element to me, it sort of speaks to armory, I think is what that's what I'm trying to say. Forgive me, I know that I might be...
You don't even know what chain stitch is, you said.
That's true, but then you described it and now I understand. Someone said they just finished one of these for their friend's daughter. That's great. Lego is the world's largest manufacturer of tires, is what Victoria wants us to know. Because we're talking about the little mini ones, right?
That's 100% true.
Who was it at Lego in the marketing department that was like, hey guys.
Let's see how many Lego
Hey guys,
tires
check it out. Yeah, because who's checking his math, right? Who's like doing the multiplication, 1, carry the 3, add the 2, like dropping it down. Yeah. Someone really enjoyed making a birthday crown last week for their nephew's first birthday. Oh my gosh, that sounds great, Little K. Smith. I wonder, for their first birthday, you have to tell me in the chat how long did it stay on the head of the child?
Oh, well, yeah, there's that.
That's what I want to know. Or probably they just handed it to them. Do you have a video that shows the different stitches? Somebody wanted to know. And we haven't done that. So one of the reasons we're doing the lives not just because we love the sounds of our own voices and we love spending an afternoon together, but because doing edited videos is kind of a challenge.
Yes.
And so we thought, well,
time-consuming.
Instead of an edited video, let's just get into it and go after that.
So I've just been trying to show a couple of different stitches here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, the stitch that I use most often is the running stitch because it's quick and it's efficient in terms of thread. It doesn't take a ton of thread.
Mm-hmm. And that way, when you do decide to use a different stitch, it really stands out in your project.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if everything you did was a super fancy stitch, it might sort of blend in a little bit. But now, like when you go to use a different stitch, it gives you a different texture and really highlights kind of those elements.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 seconds is how long the crown.
4 seconds, nice.
That's awesome. I love that. That's a fun age. That's a fun age.
Fun is relative, I think, more than anything. Anyway, let's see here.
Are you about to tie this thing off?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. I was really confused there. I added 2 extra panels so I could put B-Day and Girl using the inline alphabet die, and they loved how it turned out. Now, that's a really great idea.
That is cute.
B-Day Girl.
You can do... yeah, like the inspiration guide that comes along with this die has a few different suggestions for layouts.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want, though. I mean, in terms of like how many panels, how they're set up. I mean, they come together the same way. But there are options.
Yeah, and then so the panel just becomes a really nice kind of straightforward canvas.
Yes.
For you and anything else you might have in your Pashta Design catalog or your Pashta Die catalog around your house.
Yeah, I thought about doing these with the garden trimmings die. But then I realized, well, I wanted to show the candles, so I didn't do them with the garden trimmings die. So. But there are a couple of the garden trimmings elements fit well on these panels, especially the bigger panel. And I'm sure there are others. I'm sure that they're like...
Yeah, we did come out of, well, in one of the lives, and people in the chat were also suggesting some of the various things that could be added on. But then when we were away on our retreat, we kind of tried to brainstorm a list of all kinds of different, little motifs or circles that could go on something like this. Hello from sunny South Africa. That is a first, everybody. Welcome aboard if you're from South Africa. Thanks so much for joining us. No idea in the world what time it is in that part of the world.
Nope.
Yeah, I just know that you're definitely east of the, what is it called again? The Grand Meridian. What?
What?
What has happened to my skills with geography? They've literally evaporated as I sit in this chair today.
Maybe you have the flu.
No, that's not. What are you doing? Why would you do that? Oh my gosh. Now I'm chugging. Flower crown would also be really fun. That's right, Mary.
Yes.
Super fun.
So
all right.
I feel like I'm just going to be... This project is largely just me stitching...
all the projects, take it from your sidekick. All of the projects are you stitching things, it turns out.
No, straight lines, I mean.
This is a circle. What are you talking about?
But I just mean like...
I'm going to keep you honest here.
There's not a ton of technique here. It's really just putting pieces together. But I was specifically requested to do this die, and I thought, you know what? I need to make a birthday crown anyway, so let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, it's 8:24 p.m. In South Africa, so they are 7 hours ahead of us.
Indeed.
In South Africa. That's amazing.
All right, we're coming to the end here.
Coming to the end. And at this point in time, then what? You're going to start doing birthday candles on the other panel? Like, are you trying to do all the panels at once, and then you start attaching them together? Is that your mentality there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, almost done.
Coming right through the end there. B-Day and girl off to the sides of the panels. That's huge. Great. This is another thing to me that would lend itself to school colors, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, this could be...
I did one for another one of Tilly's friends for his birthday. And that one was... I used the primary... Or not primary. The playground.
Yeah, and you posted that on Instagram, I think, right?
Yeah, I did. I didn't explain anything about it. I just,
But you whipped that together in no time.
Yeah,
it seemed like a very fast project.
These do tend to be fairly quick. It's just that there's a lot of straight stitches.
They practically stitch themselves.
All right, so we'll do all the embellishing at the same time.
Okay.
So we'll do the candles next.
So you've die cut the candles in a couple of different colors.
Yes, I've got Glacier, Peridot, and Lollipop.
And Lollipop. Okay, let me get my act together over here. I've got Glacier, everybody. There's Glacier. Oh boy. And then I have Peridot. There's Peridot, everybody. And then we have Lollipop, which is this lighter pink color that has some purple undertones to it. So that when I hold it really close to the camera, it looks super purple. I get it further away and it gets that pink. And you're gonna stitch a different thread for each one of the candles, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm still using 3813 for the Glacier.
You're gonna match the thread color to the candle color.
Yes.
Okay.
There it is.
Although I suppose if you did it in white thread, they would almost look a little bit like your traditional striped birthday candles, wouldn't they?
They're going straight up the middle, but maybe.
I mean, it would. I mean, either that or it would just look kind of lazy. Depends on who's doing it. I don't know. You could go with either or.
All right. So to get this panel, you take.
Let's see it. We're grabbing a die, everybody. That's what's happening.
You take this is your die cut panel.
Okay, that's just a regular die cut panel.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you take this piece here that has the holes on it.
The holes on it.
And you align it with the point.
Okay.
And then you just center it at the bottom.
Okay.
And then you die cut it like that.
So you die cut that piece a second time.
Yes.
And what you get is a really great, easy template to attach these candles to.
Correct.
Okay.
And they will go all the way to the very bottom of it. Here, so it's like there's no gap. The bottom, it just goes all the way straight to the bottom.
So they're going to match up nicey nice.
They match up nicey nice.
And then the little flames are there too. We'll get to the flames in just a second.
Yeah.
We haven't lit these candles yet.
No.
No.
You want to burn our fingers.
What's that? Yeah, we don't want to burn our fingers just quite so yet.
So you line it up.
And
I like to start stitching at the top.
Oh.
Because that way your knot, when you're finished, is inside the crown. It's not down towards the edge where you've got to deal with it when you go to sew everything together.
Okay, so we're doing these candles top down.
Yes.
Okay, great. Just like a convertible.
Sure.
In Carlsbad, California.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. When you're in your field of ranunculi.
That sounds pretty.
Oh, boy. Well, they're awfully low to the ground. Those aren't very tall flowers.
No, but they're still beautiful.
They're just way down. I'm leaning out of my circle. I can't even fit anymore because I'm gesturing to nobody who can see where the ranunculi are. They're way down there, everybody.
Yeah. So again, I'm just using the running stitch. Same deal.
Just like that. It's really a falling stitch at this point in time.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get to the end, I will double back and come back up and knot it off at the top.
That's great. And you're going to do all three of these before you do the flames on the candles.
Yeah.
Because presumably when you do the flames, you're going to do that in some kind of yellow thread. Is that correct?
Indeed.
Now, are you gonna be only doing like 2 or 3 stitches and then knotting it off, or are you gonna keep the same length of thread for all 3 of the candle tops?
No, I knotted them off individually.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
No.
I'm waiting for the day where you cut a corner or a candle or something. Like, I cannot believe. I mean, I can believe it because I've known you for a long time, but wow, you're not even gonna use just the same length of thread for those 3 candles, which are all so close together and behind the scenes and nobody can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in the chat is going to have to tell me that they're not doing that. They're like, no, Sean, I'm starting one of those candles and I'm just getting them all done.
I mean, it would be fine. You could do it that way.
Of course it would be fine. If I was stitching right now, that's how I would do it.
I just have a way of doing things.
Oh, yeah, she's got a way. Mm-hmm.
I'm just particular.
Yes, that's the word we're looking for. Now I'm thinking about what it would look like if I did stitch the candles with just the white stripe up through the center. If it would look stripy or if it would not look stripy. It would be like, it would just look like you couldn't find the right thread that you were looking for.
No, I mean, it would just look like a stripe up the middle.
Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I never really had any run-ins with trick candles. Were you in a trick candle situation when you were younger?
No.
You weren't? You were never in a situation with like someone put trick candles on your
No.
No, that happened to your mom that time where the trick candles
set off the fire
alarm and the fire department came when she turned 60. That was amazing.
I didn't do that.
If she had been wearing a birthday crown at the time, maybe the birthday crown would have caught on fire from the trick candles. What do you think?
It was my preferred word would be mortifying.
Oh.
But she seemed fun.
What's great about the amount of ribbon that you put on this sample crown is that I could fit it around my head. Like when a certain someone comes home and tries to put this back on their head today. There you go. Mary Kobe's running her thread to all 3 candles. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
I'm just fussy.
I'm trying to get this crown so high up my head that it covers up the fact that there is no hair on top of my head, but it's a losing proposition. Today I was like, I'm going to use it as a prop, and Lizzie was like, no, you're not. And then I was like, and I went ahead and did that anyways. And now, as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, look.
Your daughter hasn't even gotten a chance to wear that yet, and it's for her. Just so we're clear.
Why are you going to do that on the chat for everybody? You're like, this is just the dad tax right now. This is the dad tax, but in prop wearing for sure.
Heard that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we've got 470 is the thread color that I use for peridot.
For peridot, that's right, peridot. This green color right here. And you're starting at the top and working your way to the bottom again.
Yep. That way, like I said, the knots aren't down here in with the... Eventually, this is all going to get sewn. I don't want to have to sew through knots.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty crowded down there with the knots.
Indeed.
So much thinking is involved here. I accidentally bought trick candles for my dad's birthday. He had COPD and it wasn't a good choice.
Oh, no.
Oh, so this is odd, but the felt is 100% wool. It's the most flame-resistant natural fiber. I'm sorry, that's right. I should have known better.
There we go.
So if you had worn the crown, it would not have caught on fire from the trick candles. That's great. Wow, yes, COPD and trick candles. I mean, I could not believe. I mean, the candles on that birthday cake for your mom when she turned 60, they would not blow out. And so she had a home security alarm.
And it went off. It automatically alerted the fire.
Yeah, but it only alerted the fire people because they did not know the code to turn it off.
Yeah, they couldn't. they couldn't remember the
Like,
code.
I don't think they were using the home security system on the regular.
No, they were.
They were using it.
It's just that Mom can't remember things.
Yeah, but anyways, so the candles are going, and she tries to blow them out, and it's like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty casual Saturday.
Yep.
In Tennessee, and there we are, just like blowing and blowing and blowing, and so then the smoke alarm starts going off in the house.
Yeah.
Kick, kick, kick,
And
kick,
then
kick,
you
kick,
just
kick.
start hearing sirens.
Yeah, I don't think
And
I can't remember if the sirens came
no.
after. Maybe they got the security turned off or not. I started filming.
No.
I pulled my phone out and started getting footage of this.
Eventually, like, my mom called somebody to try and get it to turn off, but
What? And then they
Yes.
probably asked for the password.
Yeah, and she was like, I can't remember. That's why I'm calling you.
And so then by the time the fire department got there, of course, they're in their gear, right?
Right.
They're thinking that the house is potentially on fire.
And so then
they're getting their pictures taken.
Yeah,
with the firefighters.
Then my mom's friend was like, well, since we've got firefighters here, why don't we take pictures for your birthday?
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden it was like a Magic Mike situation.
Yes.
Like, what are we trying to do here?
I was just about ready to just crawl into a hole somewhere. I did not get my photo with the firefighters.
I did not get my photo with the firefighters either. Yeah, everybody's just kind of looking at their shoes at that point in time.
I was just horrified.
Because it was also a pretty warm day, right? Like, you get all that
Yeah.
firefighter gear on. It was the middle of June in Tennessee. You know, it was hot. Late June.
End of June.
Yeah, end of June. Yeah, it's super hot.
Oh my gosh.
So-
I thought I was going to croak. It
So-
was not great.
Why use trick candles when you can just don't even think about the trick candles. Just stitch a nice crown for somebody when
That's
it's their
right.
birthday. Don't think about the trick candles.
No.
And then everything will be a lot better
Much
for you
safer.
and the people
for
that are at the
everyone.
house. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I am, generally speaking, I want to be not the center of attention ever in my life.
Mhm.
And yes, having the firefighters show up in their truck with the sirens going, and oh my gosh, I just wanted to.
Two different people have just said, did they at least get some cake? And I tell you what, I do not recall offering.
I believe they offered.
Did they offer them cake?
Yes, but the firefighters demurred.
I I'm not thinking, I would not be thinking about offering them cake because I was definitely not eating that cake. That was definitely an egg and dairy situation.
That was an egg and dairy.
So I was tapped out for there, but yeah, maybe they offered the firefighters some cake. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about it now, I feel like I'm getting flush.
The first time I ever even heard about trick candles, I think it was, I have an uncle named Carl, and we called him for his birthday, and he had trick candles on his birthday cake.
Okay.
But I was young enough, and his voice through the phone was hard enough to understand that I thought he kept saying trick camels. And so I didn't know what I had no idea.
He just had Bactrians doing somersaults
Yeah,
in the front
like,
yard or
and
something?
somehow it was like Alice the camel had 2 humps, or I don't know how old he would have been at the time, 37 humps or something like that, right?
Oh my goodness.
And so he kept saying candles, 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 but I was hearing it as camels, camels, camels. It was very confusing as a little boy what was happening there.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. And you're about to get through that final candle. Which one is that? That's the lollipop one.
Yes, and I used 778.
778 for the lollipop. Okay, great.
Correct.
I wish I could say that you calling out all the different thread numbers has been sticking in my mind, but that is not the case at all. Every time I have to go looking for a thread, I'm referencing our internal resource for matching the colors together.
I have most of them memorized at this point.
It's pretty remarkable.
I'm like Rain Man. It's like the only thing in my life I'm able to do that with.
Is connecting our 80 plus colors of felt to the appropriate DMC color floss. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, tiny scissors. There they go.
Tiny scissors. Did we we got more of these in stock, did we?
Oh yeah, we just got a bunch of more of the scissors in stock and the beading needles as well. So there are plenty of scissors out there if you need a great pair. And if you're just joining us, that's Lizzie in the bubble above my head. And it's me, Sean, and I've just turned 5 years old wearing this birthday crown. And we are stitching. Yeah, I'm still wearing the crown over here. Why not? I had forgotten about it entirely. I mean, Shari said they were my colors after all. And she would know. She's been making cards and stitching stuff for a long time. Ooh, now here's comes some candle flames.
All right, so we're going to put on the flames. And as has been noted, yes, I am fussy, and I will cut each one off. But
what? Did you just hear the cats way off camera
yes.
there? What was that just happened there?
I think it's another sneeze.
How many strands of floss are you using there?
3.
3, okay. And you just did like 2 stitches.
Yep.
And now you're making a knot.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, Mary should come over here and stitch this for us. How soon can you get here, Mary? I'm kidding. You can finish your birthday candles however you want to.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. I'll allow it. And there's just one shape of flame, or there's a couple of different shapes of flame?
No, there's just one shape of flame.
But it looks like you have 3 flames over there.
There are 3 dies.
So that way when you make one pass, you get 3 flames?
Correct.
Okay, that's very handy.
Because there are a few things I roll my eyes at with myself as much as like when I design something that has like 6 of something on it and there's 1 die for it.
You're like, come on.
I'm like, come on.
Come on. If there's 6 of something, I want to be able to die cut that in one pass.
At least 2 passes.
At least 2 passes. Give me 3, maybe. Yeah. Crickety, 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 crickety,
yeah.
Crickety, crickety, crickety.
But
okay, so there's 3 dice. It also has to do with, how much space is there, how much negative space there is in the die when you set it up.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, when you set up the file. If you can fit in the 3 flames, I'm going to fit those in.
Right.
I asked because I didn't know if there were 3 different flame shapes or something, and I wanted to know to tell the good people who are watching at home.
No, I just did 3 of the same.
Now, did these share a hole? Are there candles on my crown? There are candles on my crown. Okay, so they do not share a hole with the candles themselves.
No, there's like a little gap.
There's a little gap, and were the holes cut for that, or no? You're free stitching these onto there.
No, the hole's cut for that.
No, the holes inside I understand the hole is there for the candle flame.
Yeah.
Is there a hole that was die cut into the panel for the 2 little holes?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that on the die. Here, I'm reaching. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. That's me. Hi, hello. That's how close we are together. Oh boy. Okay. So I just got this, and I'm looking, and I can see it now. So on the little die, that's die cutting the holes for the panel, which I will bring towards the camera, and then no one will be able to see anyways. You can see that there's a couple little holes. Oh boy, where? Go this way? Oh yeah, there it is. Nice. Okay, so the flames are a little bit separate, and that's where they go. Okay.
And, they're pretty easy to put on.
These dies, from a bird's eye view, they look a little bit like the pieces in Battleship. Have you ever thought about that? Like this particular candle shape, because it has those little pixels?
I've not thought
yeah, I mean, I realize there's a lot more holes in them than the average Battleship piece, but you sunk my Battleship over here.
Sure. Yeah, so I just go...
I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
I just go with a double knot on the backs of these.
Okay. Did you just get all 3 of those bopped on there?
Yes.
Amazing. And you've already done another side panel, so we're about to do some embellishing, I think, is what's going to happen
I'm going to put some beads on these bad boys.
That's great. Oh, you reached over and grabbed... I was like...
No, that's the sample one that you can show people. I have my own, which you can tell has been picked.
I don't usually like showing people the bead boxes because I don't want them to open and fall out and spill. Like that to me is as scary as anything could possibly be.
Well, that would be a pretty big bummer, yes.
Plus, I had to brush some Louis off of this one. So some lucky person's going to order Flower Farm and they're going to get this exact specimen that I have right here in my hand.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for the beading, I'm just going through next to the hole. I'm going to go, essentially, I'm crisscrossing it. You could probably bead it while you're sewing on the flames if you really wanted to.
You're doing what? You're crisscrossing it?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
So the stitches go up and down, and I'm going side to side with my beads.
Okay, so you're making a perpendicular stitching line.
Yes.
For the beads, going across the stitching for the candle flames.
Correct.
So you're not going up through the pre-cut holes.
No.
You're doing this through.
Yes.
You're piercing through the felt.
You could, if you wanted to, when you're sewing on the flames themselves. You could probably just do it then if you really wanted to. I just didn't do it that way.
I mean, I can see that here on the example. I can see that the beads themselves are laying down at an angle that would imply that you've gone through them east to west like that.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, perpendicular. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to attach all of those, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
And like I said, I've already done them on the other side panels because I thought that watching me do 12 candles would bore people to tears. So
I don't know that they would bore people to tears. I mean, have you ever been bored to tears?
probably.
Has there been a time in your life? No, I've never been so bored that I've cried. That seems crazy, right?
You were not in Mr. Fensler's chemistry class.
Mr. Fensler doesn't even sound like a real person.
I promise
No
you,
one in the chat believes you.
He was a real person, and the man said every third word. And we actually counted once.
Has anybody in the chat ever been so
class.
bored that they cried? I really like this. Is where does the phrase even come from? This is where I turn into a lady who Googles or a man who Googles here. So like, where
You're turning
did
into a lady?
Well, when I say ladies who Google, that comes directly from the Office Ladies podcast.
Oh.
So they talk a lot about how there are ladies who Google.
Yeah.
Where did the phrase "bored to tears" originate? Let's see what I find out here.
I think if there has ever been a time when I was actually bored to tears, it would have been chemistry class, my junior year of high school. Was it junior year? I think it was junior year.
Wait, you had chemistry in junior year?
Yeah.
I think that our first chemistry class was sophomore year.
Well, you could take physics or chemistry.
Oh boy.
Or anyway, and I think I chose chemistry.
And that was when you learned how to stitch beads onto flames. There's more flames in chemistry class than in physics class. That's my recollection for sure.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, for crying out loud, you've designed some flasks. I mean, what is Erie Apothecary if not a couple of crazy chemical bottles there?
I suppose so, yes. And if you add the...
So that took no time at all. I should have started the stopwatch. Maybe that could become a feature.
So there's those, and then I want to add a couple of somethings to the star.
When you said a couple of somethings, I thought I was going to have to bleep it there for a second. A couple of so-and-sos. Going to add a couple of so-and-sos to this.
Not really much of a sweater.
I know, but I just didn't know where you're going with that. What I didn't realize is maybe someday I could add a little graphic here to the screen that gives you like a time. Like we could ask, how long does it take to do a couple of 3 beads like that? And we just put up the little stopwatch there.
Oh, don't time me.
Beep, 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 beep,
This
beep,
is
beep,
part
beep,
of why
beep,
I
beep,
dislike
beep,
doing
beep, beep.
videos so much, is because I've got to watch myself. I do not go back and watch these because I find it so painful to watch myself crafting. But that's watching myself craft is like, it's agonizing.
Nobody here finds this agonizing.
The whole time I'm just thinking to myself, go faster! Because in my head, it feels like I'm not taking my sweet time. But
no, this is great. This is what the Stitching Live is all about. We are live. We're here.
yes.
This is as real can get. Live from the studio. Wow, you already put one. That's a sequin on. Done.
Yep.
Just like that.
So, up through the felt.
Up through the felt.
Sequin.
Sequin goes on.
Bead.
Bead, because otherwise there'd be nothing to hold the sequin in place.
Well, you
can stitch through the outside of it or something.
Right. But I prefer to do it this way.
But you prefer to do it this way. So
and then you leave a little bit of a gap.
Leave a little bit of a gap.
And then you come back through.
If you haven't been here for sequin class, we'll go through that again in just a second.
Well, we'll do a bead next, but yes.
Oh, I just promised them sequin class.
Well, shouldn't promise the thing.
From South Africa to Florence, they're going to feel gypped. A whole bunch of people. Nuts.
Sorry, I should have been explaining it the whole time.
You've got to, so the next thing we're going to do is a bead again. Just a single bead.
Just a single bead.
Okay. And the bead's just coming up somewhere in space.
Yep.
You're not going through a hole for the bead.
Nope. We're going to come up. This is the exact same for the sequence. It's just that there's no sequin.
You're coming through the yellow part of the star, it looks like.
Coming up through the star.
Uh-huh.
If I were putting on a sequin, I would do that now, but I'm not, so I'm just going to put on a bead.
Adding a bead. I can see that. Wow, look at the clarity on the camera there. Got it. Nailed that.
And then I leave a little bit of a gap.
And you leave a little bit of the gap because it helps the bead what?
Grab onto the... When I tie my knot, there's something for the bead to grab onto because there's just like a little bit of felt behind it. So then I've got the bead on. My thread has come through the back.
And now you're going to tie that off.
Yep.
Now, could you just decide to do another... If you were, let's say you were trying to be a lazy like me, if I was stitching this, could I just go on to the next bead or sequin? Or there's something about getting the bead and sequin attached where you really don't want it to flop around all that much, do you?
There's that, but there's also I'm trying to be thoughtful about if like a bead or a sequin gets grabbed by, say, a tiny person with a little too much enthusiasm. If they rip off one thing, they're not going to rip off all three.
Oh, I got it. Okay, thank you.
Because they're all on there independently.
Okay.
Yes. So now it is time to assemble.
Wow, so we've just done all the embellishing there. We did 3 little beads. I'm
just going to keep that sort of...
And then the 3 elements there on the star.
Yes.
And now you've got front and back panels and you're about to stitch all this stuff together.
Correct. So I'm going to lay it all out here.
Okay, show us what you're doing.
I'm just putting the candle panel, pairing it with a solid panel.
They're in the back, okay.
And I'm just putting them end to end here.
Okay, so you have a number of solid panels.
Yes.
There it is. I see it. Wow, there you go.
There you go. So I'm looking at this one because I want to make sure I'm doing them the same way. Okay. I'm going to take thread.
Oh yeah, you've got them back and forth in here.
Yep.
I don't know if that would come through on the camera or not, but I will try and maybe show that a little bit. If I zoom this forward, what we're just trying to say is that you've got 2, you can't see it at all, but you've got 2 layers of the large panel and 2 layers of the small panel, let's say. Yes. And so the way that you've got them fold up on each other is
they're like sandwiched.
They're like sandwiched. It's like this is how they look kind of coming together like that.
They're like stratified, yes.
Stratified. It goes right, left is what we're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, right, left.
Because I don't want it to be, I want it to maintain as low a profile as possible.
Oh, and you think that if you went left, right or something, they would be like wrapped around each other to make it thicker? Is that what you think would happen?
It would feel a little bit thicker, yeah.
And you're not adding any fluff or stuffing to this?
Mm-mm.
No. What would happen if you tried to do that? Could you add a little fluff or stuffing in the front? Bulk it up a little bit?
Maybe if you wanted to put like some quilt batting or something in the front.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't want to make it too puffy though, because
at that point in time your crown has shoulder pads. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, that's
You've got
great.
Forehead pads, and nobody wants that.
Well, for a little boy who's going to spend his birthday, like really just smashing
himself.
Yeah, he's headbutting stuff. Absolutely.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
So, this is what we mean. Can you?
Yeah, you can definitely see that. That's a much better example. Oh yeah, look at that. There you go.
That's what I'm going to. This is how I'm going to sew everything.
So the very bottom layer, as we can see right now, is the front of the crown, and then the front where the circle is.
This is the front.
And then there's one layer of candle. And then there's the backing layer. The back panel.
And then a back layer of the candle panel.
Okay, so right, left.
Yes.
And we're going to stitch all that together so it comes together nice and tight.
Correct.
Okay.
I am going to start here at the bottom, in between a couple of the layers. And I'm going to come up through.
Okay. That's right, we're starting in between the layers so that way you're not as hidden when you're done.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to get to the second hole here.
Okay.
Make sure I'm still on the camera.
You're doing okay on the camera there. You're doing great.
Am I?
Yeah, I wouldn't, would I lie to you?
No, I'm just making sure. And again, you're just making sure you're in the same hole on each panel. Once you get a couple of them together, it's gonna be a lot easier to make sure that you're in the right place.
You were looking great on camera there, but I had you kind of off the frame. And then I think as I was trying to get you back into the frame, I might have put the camera all on you there for a second. But now we're looking great. Everything's better. Cameraman is doing his usual B- job at this today.
So we're just gonna go.
Please don't email customer service about the video about the video quality, because it'll be the video person who's emailing you back.
So back and forth. We're just using a running stitch.
And we have lots of felt that we're stitching through.
4 layers.
4 layers of felt. Boom. You can email customer service with the projects you've been working on, though. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, we like that.
People do that from time to time, Instead of getting an email that asks a very pertinent question, it's just an email that's like, look how awesome I am. This is the thing that I stitched together with your products, and I'm sending it to you.
And it's cool.
And it's almost always ended with sent from my iPhone. Everybody in their iPhone is that's who's sending us their projects.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So you're just making sure that you're going through all of the holes.
Okay.
In the layer.
Okay. And you're just going right up the top. And then once you get to the top, you're only going to be stitching through 2 layers.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, got it. Okay. So you wouldn't want to stitch... It's better to start where the layers are all coming together than to, say, start at the bottom or something like that.
I did start at the bottom. What do you mean?
I meant start at the bottom by stitching just the 2 layers across from one side to another or something like that.
I prefer to leave the very bottom to the end. I do... ow!
Ooh.
I do...
You okay there?
Yeah, I really stabbed my finger there. Ooh.
Ooh, do we need the first aid kit?
No.
We don't even have a first aid kit.
We don't. I wait to do the bottom line till I'm all the way through the top.
You know, that's good. I was going to bring that up. I'm glad that you got there because I thought, oh, there's no way if I bring that up that that's going to be the case. But you're saying you basically do the 3 sides. So you're going to do...
I'm going to do the tops.
Up the middle, then you're going to do the little peaks.
Oopsie. And
then you're going to get the other ones together and do back down. And then at the very end, you come through and stitch all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Look at that. And you don't stitch over the top of the freaking candle bases either, do you? What do you mean, what am I talking about?
Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't sew over the candle bases.
How do you do that? In my head, there's no way that that would have been the case, but you're right.
I just tuck underneath.
Wow.
We'll get there.
Are you telling me I'm jumping ahead right now?
A little bit.
Stay with me, everybody. Stay with me, everybody.
Anyway, we're just going all the way up and back. Whoopsie.
What was the whoopsie there? I missed something.
I dropped my needle.
Okay. And this is 3 strands as well?
Yep.
Okay, so because you're at the point where you're trying to like attach this thing all together, you're not going 6 strands.
No.
To really make sure it's super durable.
No, 3 strands is more than enough.
Even if it was for like the most rambunctious boy in class.
Well,
I'm not going to name any names.
I have a name in mind. No,
okay.
I'm still
even that is
just
3
going
stitches.
To use 3
okay.
strands.
Pulling that through, nicey nice. Yep. Okay.
Like I said, this particular project feels like it's just me sewing straight lines today. But
that's okay. There are definitely people that are out in the chat. They could be watching right now that maybe they haven't done a ton of stitching, or maybe they haven't done a ton of this project, or maybe they're still trying to figure out what stitching dies are all about, and it's okay for them to learn that you can do it. We're showing you how, and you can absolutely do it.
It's like lacing cards for grown-ups.
Absolutely. It's like lacing cards for grown-ups, which is great. And the person who's going to have this crown is going to have it forever. It's going to get folded up and put it nice and neat in some kind of keepsake box.
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure we will get told about that plan.
Yeah, for a long time. But not every project has got to be a whole bunch of really complicated line-up stuff. Like, this is great.
It can be straight lines, and it still ends up being a pretty cool thing when you're done.
A totally cool thing when you're done.
Okay.
What is the DMC number for the lavender felt?
3836.
3836 is the number there. I'm looking at it here in our little thread bundle. So 3836 is the DMC number.
I am almost to the other side, so I'm just going to layer my pieces.
Your 4 pieces together?
Yes. And I want the front panel to not be overlapped at all. So I'm just going to make sure that that goes front on top on this one too.
What?
Like the front, it goes front panel of the front. Yeah. Candle panel.
Okay.
Back panel of the front.
Oh, you're saying you're going in the same order as before?
Yes.
Okay. You're not like reversing the order or something?
No, it's just on the other side.
You want it to be a little bit uniform in the way that it's been constructed.
Correct.
I was too distracted. What I was trying to do is figure out what the DMC name of that color is at 3836. If you would like to know, it is light grape.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't recall that.
Light grape, huh? I don't think I've ever seen a grape that's that color before. Is
that light?
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, so I'm just making sure here at the corner that I've got all of my layers.
I don't need anybody at DMC in my DMs, by the way.
I'm just getting all of the layers through the hole there. Just making sure that everybody's lined up. And I can feel, sometimes you can feel when they're not lined up because there's a little more resistance when you're trying to push your needle through. So I know to shift things around a little bit. But we're all good to go now.
Got it. Okay. And so you started on one side of the crown, but now you're on the other side of that center panel.
Yeah, and I'm going to double back when I get to the bottom edge here.
You're going to double back and just get these 3 panels all anchored together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. And then you're going to do one of the outsides and another of the outsides?
Yep.
And then you're going to stitch the bottom line all the way through?
Correct.
Okay, I've got the outline now. That's good. This is a real plan your work your plan type
That's
conversation.
why I like to lay it out before I start sewing it together.
Why do you like to lay it out before you start sewing it together?
See how it's all gonna lay out and look when it's finished. And that way I'm grabbing the right stuff.
If you say so.
It's just I am particular. We've been over this.
Yeah, persnickety is usually the word that we use. Although I don't know what the difference is between persnickety and particular.
I don't know either.
Oh, boy. Oh, placing too much emphasis on trivial or minor details. Fussy. That's what persnickety means.
Well, arguably that applies.
Too much emphasis.
Okay. So here we've reached the bottom and I'm just doubling back. And now we're sewing exactly the way we came.
So you're going back to the left around all the alternate holes there.
Yep.
Do you have dies that have the ST, the ND, the RD, and the TH? So for first, the second, the third, and the fourth?
Yes, but it's in the prize winner die. It is in the prize winner.
I'm just putting that in the chat in case that's important.
Sure.
Prize winner die.
That's like the blue ribbon looking rosette ribbon.
Shari thinks it's just more fun to say persnickety.
It is fun to say persnickety is a fun word.
Yeah. Language of origin. Can you use that in a sentence, please?
Lizzie is persnickety.
No, that's oh, jeez. Terrible. PERSN. I just Googled it and I got a result, and I'm still not so sure that I know how to spell it. So who knows? Google might have been filling in the blanks for me on that one. My spelling is as good as my geography.
So here on the back, you can see you'll have a nice, clean sort of surface. So that way you don't have like a bunch of knots and stuff. That's why I like to make these double panels. And also, when we go to put the ribbon on, you hide the ribbon inside the panels.
Are you gonna
on the ends.
Are you gonna? Oh, so are you gonna stitch through the whole bottom before it gets time to put the ribbons in?
No.
Oh.
Because they'll be in the small candle panels at the ends.
The small candle panels at the ends.
Yes.
Okay, I can't wait to get there. I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat.
What time is it? We gotta be aware of timing because not only do we have to get our child from school, but we also have to take Miss Betty to her wellness check with our veterinarian.
I say, can you please start talking about the veterinarians so that people know who the heck and heck Miss Betty is?
Miss Betty is our new kitty cat, and she's very sweet.
Someone says they like the word omnishambles.
Omnishambles is a fun word.
Omnishambles. I don't think I've ever heard that word in my life.
Now I want to know what that word is for.
Well, I think perhaps it means something very, very similar.
Perhaps.
I just shifted this computer in my lap, and omnishambles. Definite. Okay, here we're going to find out what that one means. It's an informal British English term that describes a situation that is chaotic, poorly organized, and full of mistakes.
Well, I'm trying to avoid an omnishambles this week.
It's often used to describe political situations. Term was coined in 2009. Oh, so it's a very new word. It's only 16 years old.
I like it. I shall start using it.
Omnishambles. There we go.
Alrighty.
It's coming together beautifully over there.
Thank you.
And I can see you're almost all the way back to where you started from. You're coming on that downhill.
Yep. See, this is the part when I'm videotaping myself where I'm like, just go faster. But I can't really go faster while also making this gift worthy.
If you pulled it towards your face, would it go faster? Is this one of those situations where like stitching on camera is where the tardiness comes in? Because I could back the camera view out and just no.
I don't think so. It's just there's just a lot of long.
Or are you just being shy? You don't want to blow your face up across the whole phone screen that people are watching this on while they're hiding in the restroom at work right now. To say nothing of the 18 or the 16-year-olds at school that are doing this.
We've already discussed the fact that I do not like being the center of attention.
That's okay. I'm the one who's controlling the camera over here, so I could, with a touch of a button at any time, boom, just like that.
Oh no! Did you do that?
No, I didn't do. No, did I fake you out?
Yes. I thought maybe for a second.
Everybody's watching my hand now in front of my face, and then it leaves. Is he going to do it?
Please don't do that to me.
Yeah, let's go.
No, I'm trying to make sure that my stitches are nice and even so I don't give a questionable birthday crown to a little girl for her birthday because that would be kind of sad.
Shari said that's what the super speed is for when editing.
I know, I do that, but it's just the whole time I'm sitting there thinking to myself, can't you go any faster?
I mean, I could hit the super speed with my talking right now if you wanted to, but that's not going to help the stitching go any faster.
So now I'm back at the beginning. I've gone through the other 2 layers of felt that I didn't go through in the first place.
And now you're tying it off.
Yes. I'm just going to use a double knot.
And that's going to be hidden then on the inside of the bottom of the crown.
Yes. I'm going to try and tuck it up there as far as I can so it's not in the way.
I can't believe I didn't get a chance to even do any of my micro fast talking there. Tuck inside the bottom of the crown.
Oh boy. All right, so there's that first doohickey. The first panel is totally secured. Okay. So now I'm going to essentially do the same thing with these pieces. So I'm layering the birthday candle.
Candle onto candle.
Candle onto candle.
And then base onto base.
And to back. Yes.
Yeah, back onto back.
And I'm going to get a different piece of thread because that one's going to be too short to do really what we need to do here. So
are you you're gonna end up doing that one side without even going across the star again, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You're gonna start at the bottom of that, and then you're gonna. I'm just watching.
I'm gonna go base to corner and back, and then that's like how I like to do it.
You're going to go base to that corner and back. And then when are you going to go out towards the edge where the ribbon is going to be connected to?
I will do that after I get that base to corner part finished.
Okay. Wow. The things you learn when you're watching Stitching Live with Lizzie and Sean.
Well, and maybe we'll...
Maybe you'll what?
I'm trying to decide if they need to see the other... we'll see. Hold on.
Okay, holding on. Oh, you think you might just end up doing the ribbon on one side and then leaving everybody to fend for themselves?
On the bottom? Because
oh
it's the bottom.
Gosh. If you're out there in the chat, guess what, everybody? Fickle.
I'm not fickle.
Here today, gone today.
I'm just trying to make sure they don't have to stare at me doing the same thing for an eternity.
Wow. Sorry for the off-camera notifications there on my telephone today. We want to make sure we don't miss a delivery driver when he's here with some stuff.
Right.
That's going to remain. That's all we're going to say about it. I'm not trying to get anybody worked up.
Right. So I did the same thing here. I started in between. And I'm just going. I'm holding it tight to make sure that I get the holes in the right places. There we go. And back and forth.
Back and forth. All of a sudden, I'm wondering what a chain stitch would look like on the candles.
Well, you are welcome to learn how to do that.
Wow, wowie zowie. If we could just find the time for me to die cut some projects. Does anybody in the chat have an idea about what my first project should be that I'm stitching here?
Well, our child wants to go with the cat to the vet, so perhaps you'll have some time this evening.
No, I'm not die cutting this. No, there's all kinds of other stuff to do this evening. That's not going to be that. Plus, people in the chat haven't suggested what they think my first project should be. All of a sudden, I'm wondering if you could... the birthday crown could be like a WWE like wrestling belt for somebody. Like I was not a wrestler when I was younger, but you could do like a wrestling belt. That's all black and gold. There you go. There's your black and gold color story idea.
Last
yeah.
Birthday crown that we gave away. I was told that young sir was wandering around calling himself the birthday king after he opened it.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about a WWE style belt. Could I fit WWF on the front of the on the front of the crown?
With the accessory alphabet, you could.
No, not the accessory alphabet. I would do it with the monograms. It'd be so big it would just cover up that circle. I'd have to freehand it on there because it's big and obnoxious.
Great. So great.
Sounds like you're volunteering to a Stitch Along Sean with fancy stitch. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Someone has asked when the next release is happening and any hints to what the theme will be. Well, I don't know if we can drop any hints or if we can drop any timelines for any kind of upcoming release stuff. We should probably just not. It's better off we say nothing at all about that right now. Usually we would be a little bit more, what's the word I'm like, demure?
What?
Like we'd drop a few more breadcrumbs than that. But we're in a particularly confusing time when it comes to the release schedule right now. So
right.
Yeah, so unfortunately, no, we can't say exactly when the next release is coming out. But last year around this time, when you did a release that was kind of springy, it was really a lot of Easter items.
Yes.
Is something that one can sometimes expect.
Yes. We just don't know right now.
Yeah, we just don't know right now.
Yeah. We'll, as soon as we have something to share, we will share it.
Yeah, as soon as we have something to share, we'd share it. For sure. How's that for an answer?
Or a non-answer.
Or how's that for an answer or a non-answer? There you go.
All right. Now, here, I want to keep the corner not covered with thread. So I'm just coming between the layers of felt. Because I don't want anything overlapping that front panel.
What now? Say that again?
So I don't want anything overlapping this front panel, not even that thread. So I just came underneath that one layer of felt when I got to the corner to double back.
Amazing. That's like the tiniest little detail.
Well, you know.
That is in the world of small details, that is a very, very, very small. No, that's okay. It took me a second to sometimes I go to look up something on the computer that I think is important for the live, and that's when you drop something really specific like that.
Sorry.
So that no, you have to. How are you supposed to know when I'm over here monkeying around?
Well, I'm next to you. It's not that big a table. All right. So we're just, like I said, we doubled back when we got to that corner. We're just going back down to exactly where we started at the base there of those two panels together. And again, basic running stitch.
I'm not sure that I understand why you were all the way back over to where you needed to give us that detail in the first place about the stitch going through just the one layer. That's what I thought you'd already stitched through that part and connected it.
No, that was on the other... That was on here.
On the large panel?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about when the small panel was the last stitch there of the small panel connecting to the other small panel.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about?
No, hold on.
Okay, I'm holding.
So when here you can see there's a stitch where it's angled, right?
Hang on a second. I don't know if I can zoom that in any tighter as you're describing. I don't think that I can. I think this is like, yeah, you have to bring that thing up.
So there's a stitch right here on the back. Stitch on the back. On the front, I don't want there to be a stitch there. Because I just want it to be, the thing that's in the front.
Yeah.
So I came between these two layers of felt when I came to that top of the hole.
Sure.
And that way there was no stitch over the edge.
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. I thought that you'd already stitched through that area of the crown before, so I was confused about that particular detail.
No.
No, okay.
Because that's the line coming up here, over and down, where it connects here, as opposed to that went up here over this way.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does?
Okay.
I'm just trying to ask myself if I would remember that detail when I started stitching my own birthday crown together. And I don't know that the answer to that question is yes, even though I've been here for stitching side by side with you for this entire birthday crown.
it is in no way an expectation that anybody would care about that except me. It's just
Well, but you have
very
the option
specific.
with the way the different felt panels come together and get constructed. The option is there for you, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah, the option's there.
Okay, almost done with this one. So here we're back at the base. We came through these front two. We're going to come through these back two.
Okay.
And then we're going to tie it off.
And then we're about to stitch across the bottom?
No.
No. What are we about to do next?
We're going to stitch in the
It's ribbon time next. What color ribbon are we going with today?
It's like a yellow.
There's a yellow ribbon today, okay.
Because I thought that went nicely with the crown.
I think, of course, it goes nicely with the crown.
And I'm just going to tuck in the ends here
Uh-huh.
first. Okay. And I need more thread.
You need more of the same lavender thread.
Yes.
The same light grape thread as we
Light
learned
grape.
from our friends at DMC. I wonder what DMC stands for.
It's French. I don't remember exactly what it's French.
Anybody in the chat who's really good with their French can let us know what DMC means. You don't want me to start guessing. You don't want me to start guessing in a bad French accent. Hello from Connecticut. We're happy to have you here.
Hello.
All the way from Connecticut.
We have friends in Connecticut. That's irrelevant to anything else.
No, it's okay to say we have friends in Connecticut. That's fine. Yes, we have friends in Connecticut. They're wonderful.
We do.
Smashing.
They are.
Yeah, it's definitely not an omnishambles over there in Connecticut.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to do
Is what?
is place my ribbon where I want it. So I've got ribbon lengths here.
Yeah, what kind of ribbon is this here?
This is just stitched ribbon. These are about 16.5 inches long.
And we know that because just now off camera you measured it and nobody
Yes.
could see it.
The length the length is sort of not super purposeful. I just this is how much I had left, so this is how much there is. I've cut one end with pinking shears so it doesn't unravel, and the other end we're going to tuck in here between our layers of felt. So I want this to sort of sit here a couple of, like, one stitch in. So we're going to go up and down.
So first you're going up and down and you're not actually grabbing any of the
No,
ribbon
I'm
there
not
in
grabbing
those
the
first
ribbon at
couple
all.
of stitches. Yeah.
But now I'm going to grab the ribbon. And I don't, obviously there's not holes or anything, so I'm just kind of holding it at the angle I want it to be part of. And I'm using the holes as a guide to stitch through to make sure that it's going where I want it to go. You could also use elastic.
Okay.
Or you could make the crown long enough that it wouldn't need a tie. I just think the tie makes it nice because it's adjustable that way.
Yes, that part in particular is adjustable.
So I'm just through the ribbon now, and I'm just going to start stitching like normal.
I just looked up that the average circumference of the human head is about 21 3/4 inches.
Is that the human 5-year-old head or the human...
No, I think that's the human head. I think that would be like an adult's head, let's say, give or take.
Okay.
So if your ribbon were, it was
So what we're saying is they should have plenty of ribbon for this child's head.
definitely, I mean, 11 inches on each side, and you'd really be cooking with gas. You know, it could fit anybody at that point in time.
Well,
Yeah.
not if it's a bow. Only if it's like a knot. We don't want to make it a knot. We're going to make it a bow.
We're definitely going to make it a bow. That's how I made mine when I was putting that on earlier today.
There you go.
This is definitely a bow situation over here.
There you go. So we're just going to go up, and we're going to come back to this point over here where we're
going to be thoughtful about going in between the layers when we get to that point as well.
Yes.
As previously discussed a few minutes ago.
Indeed. the most important thing to remember with this ribbon is you just want to make sure that they're the same number of holes up on both sides so they come together and they match.
Yes, you want to make sure.
Cattywampus when you try to put it on.
Yeah, and this one it looks like.
On the screen?
Yeah, you're still on the screen. And this one it was you came up 3 stitches before you anchored the ribbon.
Yeah.
Over there. Okay.
This one will be like 2. Either way is fine.
Yeah, because you don't want it to be too high, and then the crown's going to kind of sit funny on their face, right? If the straps are all the way near the top of the points,
right?
Potentially it could make the bottom of it look kind of strange. Yeah, a little bit too low.
So there I've come up between, like under this layer of felt, just to make sure that it doesn't have, I don't know. It's just a personal.
There's some real uniformity at that point in time, you know?
Yeah.
There's some real uniformity, and if anybody who's looking at it closely is really going to understand, like, wow, this person was really thinking the whole time. They weren't just thinking to the left. They were thinking about where their threads are going to go as well.
If there's a brain that is always doing things, 'tis mine. It is always doing things, even when I don't want it to be.
Just trying to think of how many panels you need for a World Wrestling Championship. Oh no, I just went down a quick DMC history rabbit hole I do not recommend, but D and M are last names.
Noted.
That's great. I can't wait to Google that myself.
Great.
And then I'll have to decide if I'm going to bring that trivia someday to the You don't know. I mean, just because they said oh no doesn't mean that we have to.
I feel like oh no is a universal for do not do this thing. You don't want this.
I mean, we had already put some cheese in the trap right there, right? Someone just could not resist. Somebody could not resist, but they're okay. Their last names. Okay.
Noted.
That must be. I'm sure that's information you can get on that stitching app that people talked about last week. Threadly or something was what it was called. I just said Threadly. Threadly. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, Sean, that way it's not called Threadly. It's called Needly or something."
Threadventory or
Threadventory. Threadly's not bad, you know. I've got to make sure that all my floss is threadily available at all times.
At all times.
Threadily available. Thread level midnight over here.
Right.
You know, yeah, thread level. This to me sounds like names of crafting companies at a craft booth at like a craft fair. You know what I'm saying? Like little ditties by Jack and Diane.
I will never forget that. That was like embroidered kitchen towels and stuff by this couple that we sat next to at a craft fair.
Yeah,
once.
Little Ditties by Jack and Diane.
Oh my gosh.
That's great because you
know
what they're all about. They're about
free.
Making the little stitch things and
gosh.
they're all about John Cougar Mellencamp.
That will live in my brain rent-free forever and ever and ever.
What a great name! So, what did we just say? What was the name we just had? It wasn't thread level midnight.
Thread level midnight. All right, so I'm coming back between to tie off here.
Wikipedia, obviously, you won't like it. Is what. Okay, I won't like it. Very serious face. I don't want to laugh because now if I go and read it and it turns out it really is something that I wouldn't like, I'm here making light of it this whole time.
Right.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna just like snip off a little bit of the extra and then tuck those ends inside. And
you just like that, you've got the ribbon attached.
Yep.
Wow. And how thick is the ribbon? You said that was 16 inches long, right?
Yeah, it's like 5/8 inch.
5/8 inch ribbon. Okay.
So on the other side, you would just do those exact same steps. Layer them together.
And that is how you come together and make yourself a birthday crown.
Yes.
That's the way to go. That's amazing. Here, you have this little example is here too.
I will keep stitching, but I don't want anyone to feel like they have to.
Yeah, Lizzie, that's the best thing is that Lizzie is going to sit here and she's going to keep stitching while I jump in the car and race back downtown and scoop up a certain somebody at preschool. And when we're off camera, we have to figure out how we're going to work out whether or not she's coming to the veterinarian with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, hopefully everybody in the chat had a good time.
Yeah.
Today. Let me get it back out to just your face. Are you ready?
Sure.
Let me turn off your picture-in-picture first. Here, I'm done there. There she goes.
Anyway,
Bye-bye.
when it comes to the base, it's just, again, a running stitch all the way across the bottom. So it's very, very straightforward. It literally straight lines. So.
And pulling all that together. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thanks everybody that was here today for another Stitching Live with Lizzie and Sean.
Yeah.
You can stitch it. We can show you how.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to make sure that we didn't really post this live event until about an hour before we got started.
We had a very interesting morning.
Next week, we're going to be a little bit earlier with it. But, you know, if you haven't become a subscriber yet, you want to make sure to do that and get your notifications going. So that way, every time we come live, you can come and hang out where we laugh about things that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And then we Google them later and then we come back the next week and then we feel very horrified about the whole thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great. All right. Well, and what next week, let's also tease that. What are we doing next week?
We've got a chocolate box details.
Ooh, the chocolate box details because it'll be just in time for Valentine's Day.
Indeed. It is the last week before Valentine's Day.
What?
So yeah, Valentine's Day is like Saturday.
Oh,
Friday? No, Friday.
Friday. Okay, so today is the 4th, and then Valentine's Day is the 14th. So you have 10 days until Valentine's Day. Yep. You also have 6 days until pitchers and catchers report at spring training. Liz is a huge baseball fan.
Should that be of interest
Liz
to you?
is just a tremendous baseball fan, and every year when spring training seems to start in like December...
Just like, does the season end?
The season never ends. Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's where I'm going to cut it for today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next week. Okay?